Morning, everyone. Welcome to the December 19th Board of, let me start over. It's a frigid morning. I've been in for a little while. Welcome to our meeting this morning. My name is Shelley Bueller, and I have the pleasure of serving as chair of the commission alongside my colleagues, Commissioner Kevin Cook and Commissioner Bob Archer.
Good morning. Good morning.
Madam Clerk, the first item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are 5 items on the consent agenda. Any questions?
Madam, I would move for the approval of the consent agenda as presented.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Madam Chair, this morning we have one voucher report dated December 16th, 2016. The total amount of vouchers, $1,620,664.28. Significant items on the voucher include payroll of $477,000, jail expense of $362,000, essentially Aramark and Corizon payments, and then a Sherwood maintenance payment of $379,000. And I had a question about the maintenance payment to Sherwood, and I asked Betty or Tom Block to I guess I created quite a stir because nobody knew where that money was going and where it came from. So I thought we needed to find out.
I'm very good morning, Commissioner Tom Block with Public Works Solid Waste. Yes, you did cause quite a stir this weekend. I was telling you, makes me a little uneasy when I don't know where $370,000 went. But upon investigation, what that is the county collects all the revenue for the Sherwood Improvement District. So this is not the Sherwood sewer system. I initially was thinking when I heard Sherwood, but it's like somewhat like a township. We collect the revenues for the improvement district. They send the bills into the county, and the county pays their bills. So that $379,000 bill is actually Sherwood Improvement District's bill, obviously for apparently using road work in their district. So that is actually not county money; it's the Sherwood Improvement District's money.
Okay.
Very good. Thanks for the explanation.
Having that clarification, I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
There's a motion to approve the vouchers by
Second.
Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-400 2016 with Willis of Greater Kansas, Inc. for Shawnee County's 2017 insurance coverage for county property at an annual premium cost of $754,547.30. And Brian Haston with Willis is here to provide any information.
Okay. Morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for the opportunity here to present you with your property and casualty renewal for 2017. This year, we were able to accomplish a reduction in rates on almost all lines of coverage, property, auto liability, inland marine, and umbrella policy. Exposure was slightly up, rate was down, so we're almost about neutral from a cost perspective on premium. Workers' compensation, the excess compensation, we had some slight development in claim activity, so we have a slight increase of about $23,000 over last year. Exposure is part of that, so the payroll is up slightly about $1 million, so that was part of the rate. But outside of that, we have a very favorable renewal. And any questions? Possibly have.
Thanks, Brian. Any questions from the commission?
I would move to approve the authorization and execution of the contract.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate it.
Item B, District Court. Number 1, consider approval of a request to purchase AV equipment and design programming services, $15,000 from the fiscal year 2016 budget and $10,800 from the fiscal year 2017 budget.
Good morning, Charles Snyder with this report. The commission authorized $64,000 for the AV for the Division 5 construction project. we're asking to spend $15,000 from our existing budget to supplement that project. Don't know whether you can address the $10,800 for next year, so we're only going to ask for the 15 at this point.
Any questions on this item, Commissioner?
So the request is to allocate $15,000 for the 2016 year budget and nothing else, if I understand you correctly.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. You could approve both at this point if you
Okay.
want. It is my understanding that these funds will be transferred to that project budget that we already have set up for this purpose. And so the 15 would be transferred now. If you approved the 10,008, it would not be transferred until 2017.
So we can do it now or do it later. I
Right,
guess.
exactly.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve, including all the language for fiscal year 2017 budget.
There's a motion. Do you have a question?
No, I would just move for the, and this is more of an acknowledgement of what we're doing, given that the clerk's budget is much like the sheriff, and that once it's set, they are able to allocate it as they see fit. But with a carryover fund, we have to make sure that it goes into the special project fund.
Sure. There's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Item C, Public Works Solid Waste number 1, consider approval of a project budget of $2,823,000 for the improvement of Southwest Urish Road between Southwest 17th Street and Southwest Huntoon Street.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Black, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. This project is one that we originally had intended on constructing in 2018. Upon having some discussions with the city of Topeka, they are also planning a construction project. So this project, our project is again on Urish Road from Huntoon to 17th. The city of Topeka is planning on having a road construction project on Huntoon at Arbonia 470 exit ramp. And they are also going to plan theirs for 2018. After discussing this with the city and trying to look at the phasing, we really don't think those two projects can go up at the same time. It would really cause a lot of problems for some of the people in the area. So what we are wanting to attempt to do, and we think we can get there, is to move our project up a year and have it constructed in 2017. And this would be during the same construction season as we are doing Urish from 17th to 21st. The roundabout at 17th and Urish would remain open, so those folks in Hidden Valley would still have access out. They just wouldn't be able to go north or south from there. And additionally, it really would cause less disruption to the folks in the area by being able to do both projects in the same construction season. Otherwise, it will have two consecutive construction seasons disrupted. This section we were talking about here from Huntoon to 17th, there are only 2 homeowners that live along that stretch. We will provide them access roads to get out during construction. So we think if we can, the biggest issue is going to be getting utilities to be able to move in conjunction or ahead of or at the same time as our construction. We are in communication with them to do that, and there are very few property owners that we need to acquire right away from, relatively speaking. There's 5, which is a pretty low number. And we have the right-of-way plans already in place, so we're beginning negotiations with those folks. So if we can get this to work, which we think we can, it actually will make a lot of sense and be less disruption to the folks in the area. So with that, we are presenting the project budget, in which we do have identified where the funding will come from. We're confident, or we do have the funds available to construct it this next year. Funding would come from the Road and Bridge federal funds. Also our special highway improvement funds, and then funds from our normal operations procedures and roadway account. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Thanks, Tom. Any questions on this project? Or anyone wanting to speak on this item?
I would move for approval of the project budget.
It's a motion by Commissioner Cook,
Second.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider change order number 1 to contract C 313, 2016 for the culvert replacement on Northwest Fielding Road over Breakneck Branch of Half Day Creek, reflecting the actual quantities of materials and increasing the project cost by $8,075.75 from the Special Bridge Fund.
Commissioners, Tom Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item also. On this particular project, when we do replacement projects like this, we only bid, the one item that actually changed and increased, causing the increase is foundation stabilization material. Essentially, when we really don't know if you're gonna have much of that material in it, so we bid just one unit to establish a price, so that when we get the actual quantities, then we actually have the price established. That's what happened in this case, is the foundation stabilization material, you know, we bid the 1 cubic yard and just to establish the price, and when we got into the project and determined the extent of how much basically muck had to be removed and replaced with stable material, it was 266 cubic yards. So that increased nearly $12,000, that item alone. The other items were all decreases, which lowered than the final actual quantity amounts, the price to the $8,075. And as mentioned, this will come from the Special Bridge project. We have funds to account for this, and it's our recommendation that we approve.
Thanks, Tom. Any questions on this item?
I'll move to approve the change orders for the contract.
Motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. Tom, I did have a chance to go out there and look at the project. It's nicely done. But this would finish the project and no change orders?
Yeah, this is the final. This is the final one.
All right.
Or the only one.
Okay.
And final one.
Good. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C 401, 2016, amending contract C 314, 2016 with Shawnee County Consolidated Rural Water District Number 4 for relocation of utilities at Northwest Fielding Road to reflect an increase of $409.56, resulting in a contract total of $3,632.14 from the Special Bridge Fund.
Commissioners, this is in relation to Tom Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. It's to Public Works item. It's the same project we were just speaking about on Fielding Road. The utilities that had to be removed. We entered into a contract in which the Rural Water District gave us an estimate of what it would cost to move their utilities. They moved them. There was a slight more work to do than they originally anticipated, which again was amounted in $409.56 increase, and so we need to amend our contract to reflect that for actual quantities with them. And it's our recommendation that it be approved. And this too will be paid for from the Special Bridge Fund.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I'll move to amend the contract. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 4, consider approval of a project budget and request to issue a request for proposals to furnish and install a new steel equipment storage building at the District Number 3 Road Maintenance Facility, 1330 Northwest 62nd Street, at an estimated cost of $70,000 from the 2016 Road Maintenance Fund.
Commissioners, Tom Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. This is an item that we, a building project for our road maintenance facility in the northwest part of the county. We have inadequate amount of storage space for our capital equipment in that district, and we would like to get some more overhead storage so we can protect that equipment for the long term and keep it out of the elements, to keep them from rusting and what all happens when they're exposed to the weather. Our crews will do as much work as possible, the building of the foundation and base. We are essentially going to go out and have a contractor come in and put up basically a shell when it's all said and done. This is an item that we were hoping that we might be able to get to this year, and we put funds for a project like this in this year's budget. We just were not able to get to it this year, so what we'd like to do is get approval, take the funds for it, take the funds and stick the funds into a project fund, and get going on the design and the RFP to have essentially like a, I guess, for lack of a better term, a modern steel building, to give you an idea of what we're thinking of. So we can get that going hopefully by, springtime or so. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Thanks, Tom. Any questions?
Move to approve.
It's a motion by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cook. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 5, consider approval of a project budget and request to issue a request for proposal for a truss roofing system for a salt storage building in District Number 4 at an estimated cost of $50,000 from the 2016 Road Maintenance Fund.
Commissioners, Tom Blunt, once again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item, and this is in similar fashion to what we did a couple of years ago for our road maintenance facility down in the southwest part of the county. This would be for our northeast part of the county. Our salt shed up there is an old wooden structure, and it's really deteriorating. We would like to construct a new salt storage shed in which our crews, similar to what we did before, we would construct the asphalt base and place the concrete block wall foundation. This would just be for the hiring of the roofing system. Our last project that we did worked very well. Very nice facility. This would really provide us a good amount of storage space for the northern half of the county for salt in the winter, during winter season. And similar to what I just mentioned on the previous project, we would like to take funds, stick it into a project fund so that we can get going on the RFPs and get this going, doing a lot of the work when we're in the off season as far as placing the base and doing the concrete block wall. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Move approval of the request.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Tom.
you.
Item D, Facilities Maintenance. Number 1, consider approval to award bid for a planning study and associated drawings for possible improvements at the courthouse and North Annex to Falk Architects at $75 per hour for project management and drafting at $45 per hour, funded through the Deferred Capital Maintenance Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. This item, we went up for RFP, as you recall, probably about a month ago, and had 4 responses to that for space planning at several locations countywide. The Falk Architects were selected by the Professional Services Committee, and I would like to move forward with awarding them the opportunity to do this job. Do you have to answer any questions?
Thanks, Bill. Any questions? Thanks, Commissioner Archer.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. Are we confident in this architecture firm doing it? It never ceases to amaze me how we have such a range of bid prices. And I know, for example, this was $75 per hour. We've got others at $195 an hour, $127 an hour. Just never ceases to amaze me the range of numbers we get in something like this. But that's my question. Are you confident in their ability to perform?
Yes, I am. I think the main thing with Falk and the difference on this, I think they really understood what we were looking for. It's not a massive plan where we want to remodel everything in the county. I think the high architect on that one was really viewing as this is a golden opportunity to tell us all the things that they don't like about our buildings. But Falk also, I believe, has a lot lower overhead. And I think that's probably the main reason that we can probably pull that a lot less cost.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any Any further questions?
I'll move to approve.
It's a motion by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
a second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider change order number 1 to contract C-190, 2016 with Bettis Asphalt and Construction for construction of the parking lot adjacent to the new Shawnee County Health Agency building in an additional amount of $29,499.75, resulting in a final contract price for parking lot construction of $242,496.15.
Morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. There is a change to this. The final contract price on this will be $6,800 higher. Received a second change order from Bettis late Thursday afternoon. Didn't have the opportunity to get it on this agenda. The price would be $242,496.15 to date. There will be another change order. I'll get it on the agenda for next week. But the final contract price, and I'm certain it's the final contract price now from Bettis, will be $249,296.15.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Given that we're going to have another change order, rather than take action on this item today, can we defer until the 29th and just do it all at once?
Certainly. That
That would be the best. That way,
Yes.
then everything's reflected
Clean it
on
up a
the
little bit
same
better, yeah.
agenda.
Right.
There's a motion to defer till next Thursday, or
Second.
Thursday the 29th.
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E, Information Technology, number 1, consider approval of request to purchase an RX 6000 hardware platform from Tyler Technologies as a sole source provider at a cost not to exceed $20,000 from the Information Technology 2016 budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Pat O'Bland with the Information Technology Department. Last week, we were up before you asking for permission to renew maintenance on our RS 6000 platform. Just to avoid confusion, I want to mention that there are 2 of these units. We are replacing one of them, and this is the request to replace the oldest of the 2 platforms. We also had this on as an item for capital outlay for 2017, but due to the fact that we had some maintenance items that wound up not needing to be paid for out of the IT budget, we pulled that, and we're asking to pay for this out of the 2016 IT budget. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thanks, Pat. Any questions? I'll move approval of the request. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider approval of request to purchase a 2017 Ford Transit Connect cargo van from Shawnee Mission Ford at a price not to exceed $23,000 from the Information Technology Department 2016 budget.
Commissioners, this item was another item that we did have on the 2017 capital outlay request. But again, we also had enough maintenance items that came in that did not need to be replaced in the 2016 budget. We're asking to go ahead and pay for this item out of the 2016 IT budget. This is to replace a 2000 vintage Safari van that has reached the end of service life and needs to be replaced due to safety and reliability concerns. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Pat. Any questions from the commission?
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
Pat.
Commissioner.
Item F, Sheriff's Office, number 1, consider approval and execution of contract C-402, 2016 with Robert Mosier for Kalia Consulting Services at a cost of $300 per day for 2017 from the state forfeiture account.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a contract with Robert Mosier, who is an expert in the policy and procedures field. He does come in monthly, regularly, and reviews our policies, does staff inspections, outside source, just to make sure everything's up to par. We'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve.
So motion to approve by Commissioner Archer. Second.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
This item is titled a motion for approval and execution of the contract, but are we actually approving the contract or just acknowledging it?
I'm going to defer to council. I believe in the past we have approved contract and acknowledge receipt of intent for, but Jim, correct me if I'm wrong.
Jim Crowell, Shawnee County Councilor, you are correct.
But,
I know it gets confusing, and I believe for them to ask you to approve this contract, I believe that's the proper thing to do.
Just noting that there's not a signature for the commission on the contract, nor has it been through the county council's office for approval.
Correct.
So what do you want to do?
I'm seconding, but, I mean, I just. make sure
If you
what's
would
there.
like to defer this item so that we can review it, we can do that.
I just want to make sure that we're doing the right procedure.
Well, and
Mhm.
maybe we should review the process to determine what the responsibilities and liabilities are when we take action on the sheriff's operation.
I mean, as we stand right now, there's with our pending litigation as to whether or not the scope of control of the commission over elected officials, just to make sure that we're clear.
I agree that that is an ongoing issue that is always there, and it might be a good idea for us to review the procedures that are in place for the different offices and make sure that everyone's on the same page as to what those procedures are for bringing contracts forward to the commission that need commission approval. So if you would defer this item, we'll review it and then review the larger issue as well.
May I ask if, is this time sensitive, the work is to begin when?
No, I believe that we can work with that. I'll get with general counsel when I return and make sure he contacts Mr. Crowell, and we can move forward with it.
Okay.
With the deferral, I believe we can work with that.
So I hear a substitute motion then to defer.
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Cook,
Second.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Item G, Human Resources, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2016-88, authorizing 2017 step increases for classified and unclassified employees.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell again, Shawnee County Councilor. This is a human resources item. Every year, when there are going to be wage increases, the Shawnee County Commission issues a resolution like this to provide for the wage increases for the next year. This one's for 2017 for its classified employees and the certain number of unclassified employees that are paid in accordance with the classified scale. This resolution does that, and consistent with what was negotiated with the bargaining units. This resolution provides for a 1% scale change increase and a one-step increase, both to become effective on July 1st, 2017. That is new for classified employees, and also to make that pay schedule consistent with all other county employees, including the bargaining unit employees. We're moving to a system where wage increases are occurring on July 1st instead of on anniversary dates, which are scattered throughout the year. This is a lot easier to administer. Every year, it seems that a handful of people end up not getting their step increases. This should help alleviate that problem, makes it easier to budget, and most response I've heard to this change has been positive. So I would be happy to answer any other questions you might have about this resolution.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions from the commission? Anyone wanting to speak on this item? And I just might note that all of this was budgeted for in our 2017 budget.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
It's a motion to adopt by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider the creation of an application systems technician position in the Parks and Recreation Department and the transfer of funds from 2017 DOC budget to the 2017 Parks and Recreation budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell again. This is another human resources item. As you will note, on December 1st, you moved, per the request of the Department of Corrections, to abolish an application systems technician position. From that point forward, I went out to see if there was a need for that position or a similar position in any other county departments. Turns out that Parks and Recreation was finalizing, obtaining a new software program and a new system to work with, and this position became necessary for them to work with that new system. So I'm asking you to authorize in the Parks and Recreation Department a new application systems technician position, and then to transfer the money that was budgeted for the Department of Corrections for 2017 to the Parks and Recreation budget to fund that position.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions on this item? Okay. Anyone wanting to speak on this item? Is there a motion?
I would move to approve the request, and also note that Mr. Webb is present in the chambers, and that we hope that this will give him the employment so that he can continue to work with the county as he has done for the last 28 years.
Okay, thank you. This motion by Commissioner Cook.
I agree, and I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Item H, Administrative Services. Number 1, consider approval of appropriation of transient guest tax.
Good morning, Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. It's the time of year to appropriate the transient guest tax for 2017. There is two pieces to that transient guest tax. 1% of it is designated already to the Sunflower Soccer Association for its debt service. The other remaining 6% of that is to be apportioned by the commission. Since 2011, 100% of this has gone to the Expo Center for promotions and that type of thing. This year, we had an additional request from the Riverfront Authority for some of these funds also. We have representatives from both of those organizations here, if they would like to speak or answer questions.
Sure, thank you, Betty. And if Beth Baker is here, she's chair of the Riverfront Authority. Do you have any comments at this time? No?
Good morning, Commissioners. Beth Fager, I'm chair of the Topeka Shawnee County Riverfront Authority. And just briefly, I would point out that we are requesting funding from this source. We are the Topeka Shawnee County Riverfront Authority, so we think it would be appropriate a use of some funds to help fund our operations. We have only asked for funding from the county one time since our inception in 2006. And that was for a development of an overall bird's eye plan, which was funded in equal parts by the city, county, and state, and that congregate amount was matched by private funding. Currently, we've had some minimal expenses in past years, but the last 3 years we have contracted, as I think you know, with Mr. Pat Downs from Oklahoma City, as our consultant and director of development. He's been very effective in his job. He's been funded for the last 3 years entirely through private funds. We're just at a point where we feel it's very appropriate, necessary as well, to have some support funding from the county and the city as well. And I have been led to believe that if both the city and county do provide some funding, the state will probably come in on that also. So,
What is the request amount for today?
no, I did not request a specific amount, and I don't know what the total funding is. I think I have an idea, but we were certainly hoping for an amount in the area of 10,000, 10 to 15,000, anywhere there.
Okay, thank you.
I will address the funding issue. As I said in my memo, we're expecting it to be approximately 50,000. You know, it varies, of course, as the occupancy of the one hotel varies, but approximately 50,000 for the year.
Thank you, Betty. And then this is just for 2017?
Yes,
The
that's
allocation
correct.
for 2000, we
Yes.
do this every year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Excuse me, Les Crooks, Kansas Expo Center. Just wanted to say we appreciate your consideration on these funds for us. They've been used for a multitude of reasons in terms of promoting additional events that we promote in-house, such as Third Thursdays and Wing Fling. We use it to fund travel to industry conventions to help promote the venue. We use it in conjunction with Visit Topeka to help NAIA Wrestling, Kansas Kids, the horseshoe tournament, and things like that. We use it to help subsidize some community events, graduations, folks who cannot necessarily afford everything that goes with producing an event at the Expo Center. We also use it for increased website presence, making sure our website is up to date and most technologically advanced that it can be, so our consumers are up to speed on that. And then we use it to help fund advertising for some events as well, to try and help them with their limited budgets. So we appreciate the consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Archer?
Yeah, Betty, you said that since 2011, all of our money has gone to the Expo Center. Before that, what do you know?
In 2010, there was a small amount that was, I can't remember now the organization, but there was a small amount that was given to a separate organization.
I believe it was a sports council at that time. I think it was around $20,000.
But that's
the only other allocation I can remember.
Allocation that I have seen since we went on our current system of 2008.
Mm-hmm. Any questions? No. I know that the Riverfront is a partnership with the city of Topeka, and Shawnee County is definitely going to be involved in that going forward, as well as the state of Kansas. And so I would move to allocate then $10,000 to the Riverfront Authority, and then the remainder, whatever that is, to the Expo Center.
Second.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion?
I'm not going to support that. I think the Expo Center needs our money. That's our responsibility. We're going to be looking at an RFP next year to see who's going to continue to manage the Expo Center. And I just think they need all the help they can get at this point, and so I can't support that.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 2-1. Commissioner Archer dissenting. And I hear where you're coming from. I think both projects are very worthy, and so I think to make some progress on the riverfront, that's why I made the motion, so thank you.
And I agree, both projects are very worthy, but my primary
Sure.
interest is in making sure the Expo Center is successful.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Oh, you're next. Yes.
Number 2, update on revenue and expenses.
Okay, as you said, I'm next again. This is the monthly financial overview, and as always, I'll remind you that this is a snapshot view as of November 30. I'll start on the revenue side. Our total revenue that we've received through November 30 is $98,963,401. That is $1,229,000 over budget. I'll go down the different categories and how much of that budget variance is attributable to each category. But this chart kind of shows you the total picture, and each category. You can see that property taxes is by far the largest category of our revenue, followed by other taxes, which is motor vehicle taxes and special assessments and those items. Then the green sliver there is property-related fees, the purple charges for services, and then miscellaneous. You can see by this that our revenue is $189,000 over last year. And if you're looking at the total numbers, we are about 1% over budget. Okay, our first category is property tax revenue. This did not change from last month because we did not have a tax distribution during this month. So we received $74,457,000, slightly under budget, but within a very small margin. Other tax revenue, we've received $14,982,000. We are $1,095,000 over budget, this is pretty much the same as it was last month, and that budget, or that variance, is made up mostly of motor vehicle taxes and special assessments, which both came in higher than estimated. Our next category is property-related fees. We've received $2,064,000. That is $632,000 over budget. I know Commissioner Cook, you have asked Becky to go over to present, how we had estimated the change in the mortgage registration fees and all of that, and this will be part of that. What we did see is just in the month of November, we are $111,000 over budget, which is unusual because November is usually a down month in those. I don't know if the nicer weather attributed to that, or I have no idea what. It was not one specific large mortgage that sometimes happens, but it was actually $111,000 over budget for the month of November. Our next category is charges for services. We've received $4,374,000. That is $643,000 under budget. The main reasons for that is that the jail is $100,000 under budget in revenue, and as we have talked pretty much most of the year, their numbers are down, which also means the number of the inmates they have from other jurisdictions that pay them revenue for that is down also, and as you'll see, their expenses are down also. Parks and Rec is down about $500,000, and we've talked about that also with weather and delayed opening of the aquatic center, and all of those items have attributed to that. And then the sheriff's revenue is down about $50,000. Okay, our last revenue category is just other revenue. We've received $3,085,000. And that is $454,000 more than budgeted. The main categories in that variance, our investment income is up this year. Noxious weeds, their reimbursements is up $150,000, and the coroner's revenue is up $25,000 that we receive mostly from the state on that. This is just a pie chart that shows the percentages of where this revenue is coming from. As you can see, 75% comes from property taxes, 15% from other taxes, 2% from property-related fees, 5% for charges for services, and then 3% from miscellaneous revenue. Are there any questions on the revenue side?
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the property-related fees, I know that we had concerns when the legislature made changes to the mortgage registration fee process. And is it possible that we overestimated for 2017? Are we seeing timing in this year that may screw up 2017?
I don't think so, because
Okay.
generally that's just pretty much on mortgage registrations.
Okay.
So I don't know that there'd be that much of a timing issue. It's estimating how many mortgages are going to be filed in a given year.
Right.
So I don't know by 16 is really going to affect 17's numbers unless the amount of home sales or property sales changes. I think we really estimated how much of an impact that legislation was going to have, and so it was purely an estimate. If you look at compared to last year, we are down 23,000 from last year. We estimated that we would be down significantly more than that from the legislation, and maybe it just hasn't had quite as large an impact as we thought it would. But there again, as we've talked, we wanted to be conservative in those estimates so that, it would not hurt us.
Right.
I mean, you always want to be conservative in your income estimates because you don't want to be in a situation that you have the expenses, but you don't have as much income coming in.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Cook?
To build off of those comments, I think that this is where we see that conservative approach paying off for Shawnee County in the long run.
Mhm.
If you look at every one of the categories outside of property tax, we are under what we collected last year. We're over what we budgeted, but we're
Yes.
under of what we collected last year.
Yes.
And so if our property taxes had come in $189,059 less, we would have been collecting less than what we did last year. Again, it's over what we budgeted, so we're okay, but I think that it should raise a cautionary flag given that 75% of our budget comes from property taxes, and if we see a dip in the property taxes with a decrease in the remainder, we will have less income. And so while we're still budgeting conservatively, it's just something to maybe keep our eye on.
Definitely. Okay, move on.
Okay, we'll go on to the expenditures. Through November 30th, there have been total expenditures of $85,989,000 So that is actually $2,344,000 under budget. But there's a big but on this one.
Yeah. Definitely.
As you know, we have had a lot of expenditures that have been approved over the last month that have not necessarily been purchased or encumbered yet. They will be by the end of the year, but have not yet. And I've listed a few of those, the larger ones. One is the chiller, $550,000. The sheriff's car and gasoline, I think that's $500,000 right there. The jail and the sheriff's department both, if their medical line item has excess funds in it, it will be transferred to a medical fund that then we can use on those years that it spikes up. Right now, that is about $100,000 for the jail and about $125,000 for the sheriff's office. So those items will be transferred out if whatever is remaining in those. And then there's some IT issues, items that have not been encumbered yet. This morning, we had the courts had items to encumber as well as Public Works. So, this is what the variance was at this given point in time. But, like I say, there's a big but on this one. It will not remain that large for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
But I will go through the different categories and kind of tell you what we're looking at right now. Now, this chart does show the different categories and just kind of shows you how much is spent in each of those categories. We'll go through them individually, and then I'll have a pie chart at the end that kind of shows it also. And you can see, as Commissioner Cook was talking about, comparing to prior year, you can see we have spent $1,903,000 more than we had spent this time last year. Public safety is our largest category of expense, and we have spent $36,488,000. That is a positive variance of $1,551,000. So we have spent that much under budget this year. Now, I'll remind you that a lot of that is Department of Corrections, and the chiller of $550,000 will be encumbered on that. And as we saw that their revenue was down, their expenses are also down. The sheriff, I'm showing right now, it's a positive variance of $410,000. We have all of their, their cars that they purchased and all of that will be decreasing that variance. The next category is public health. We've spent $9,475,000. That area is right on budget. Next is administrative services. We spent $9,390,000. In this category, we have a positive variance of $205,000, so we are under budget, but that is about the exact amount we are under budget in our contingency account that we have not been able to, not had to spend in the contingency this year. The next is public works. Spent $7,695,000, and that is right on budget. Parks, Recreation, and Expo Center, we spent $12,864,000. As I said, this is under budget by $497,000. And then we have our debt service. There's no change in there in this category. $10,075,000 is what we've spent, and that is $62,000 under budget from refundings. So here's our totals by category. This I think really shows how public safety is definitely our highest category in expenditures, with Parks and Rec and Expo being the second. And then this is our pie chart that shows 72% is spent on public safety. Public health is 11%, admin services is 11%, public works is 9%, Parks and Rec 15%, and debt service 12%. And debt service, we have paid all the debt service, so that will go down even a little more next month for the end of the year. I will remind you that our revenue, we showed about $99 million in revenue. We showed about $86 million in expenditures. But next month, December will be a very low month for revenue. Even though property taxes are due in December into the county, they are not distributed to the taxing authorities till January. So that is not December revenue for us. That will be revenue that comes in January. So the revenue, it will be a very small revenue month in December, but it'll be a very high expenditure month in December. So even though it looks like we have a big balance, that will not be the case for the end of the year.
Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Betty. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Archer?
I just wanted to say, it is a fact that there's a tendency to use remaining funds in the budget at the end of the year, but I have to remind leaders that it is your job to manage to your budget, and it is unacceptable to overspend anyone's budget in Shawnee County. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Betty. Next item.
Item 5, administrative communications.
Are there any administrative communications for today? None? I was going to say, Brian, I keep getting distracted with your tie and your socks. They're very nice, though, very festive.
There was a contest we didn't hear about.
I know.
Commissioners, Town Block, Public Works, and Solid Waste. Just a reminder again on the solid waste collection schedules for this week and next week, because they are shifting for both weeks, and actually even the week after for Martin Luther King Day, if I'm not mistaken. But beginning this week, again, today's customers and tomorrow's customers will see no change. For Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday customers will all move up a date in their collection. And then next week, the week after Christmas, the 26th, is the day that the county celebrates Christmas Day, since it falls on Sunday. So there will be no collections on Monday the 26th. And then Monday customers will be moved back a day to Tuesday. Tuesday customers will be moved back to Wednesday. And then there will be no change for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday customers. And I do want to send out a thank you to the Capital Journal. They published it in the paper today. That makes a big impact for the amount of calls we get. The people, they will be aware, and also I know a lot of the media outlets have put it out, and the City of Topeka's helped us with, they put it on the Nextdoor. They have a Nextdoor application. If anyone that is not on that, I would highly recommend it. It's a great way to get a lot of communication of things going on in your specific neighborhood if you want, in the city, all different kinds of things. And it's a great way to communicate with people throughout the community. And then, and also they also put on Channel 4 for us. So they are very helpful in trying to get the word out to as many people as possible. We really do appreciate it, and it really makes a great impact for us.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Maw, Shawnee County Treasurer. One last reminder, tomorrow is the 20th of December, and taxes are due by midnight tomorrow night. If you have a postmark of December the 20th, we will waive the fees and penalties, and we are collecting taxes in Rossville as we speak, and we'll be doing that until noon today.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. Anyone else with administrative communications? Okay. Just a reminder that the commission is not in session on Thursday, and then county offices are closed on Friday, December 23rd, and Monday, December 26th. So we will be in session on the 29th of December. That's our next commission meeting. All right, commissioners, anything?
I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone.
You know, last Thursday, we had an opportunity to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the Victor School at Old Prairie Town.
Mm-hmm.
And John Knight, you know, he got all in character, and he just couldn't help himself. And, you know, I think there might be some pictures floating around of
I
him
saw
celebrating
those.
But it was a good, Rossville Elementary came out to celebrate. They had a poem, learned about the history of the Victor School, and it's good that we have those opportunities in our community. Also want to thank everybody at the Public Works holiday get-together, all the work that they do with the snow and the sleet and ice, and then also our Washburn graduates over the weekend had an opportunity to walk and celebrate their passage, even from everything from GEDs to Juris Doctorates and everything else in between.
Very good.
Thank you.
Great. And the Merry Christmas and the happiest of holidays to all our employees. I know that there are several departments that work, you know, around the clock. So hope that they get some time to spend with their family and their friends. So I don't think we have anything else. Next item, please.
Executive sessions.
There is a need for an executive session for a period not to exceed 20 minutes for personnel matters relating to non-elected personnel and consultation with the attorney for the body or agency, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, and that is in motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. 20 minutes. Okay, we are back in session, no action to be taken, and we are adjourned.
Sometimes you
All
find it.
right,